Dear friends, welcome back with another machine on the Vulnhub, which is Sing. The link will be put into the description section below so that you can download and play the machine. Although its format is ISO, so we need to take a different way to import or create the machine on the VMware or VirtualBox. If you have a problem with setting up such lab, please let me know in the comment below. And although this machine was published in 2012, a bit old, we must admit. However, this machine is very interesting from my point of view, because one of port number is not always open. We need to do a map scanning continuously. So in this video, I'd like to take a bit more efficient way, which is to take Python to automate this process. Okay? And also another point with this machine is that the IP address of this machine is statically assigned as this one. You know, this is a bit different from other machines on the Vulnhub. And also we need to configure the network to this prefix, or 192.168.2.0. Otherwise, our machine or Linux cannot make communication with the target successfully. Before we go ahead, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and leave a like below. You're greatly appreciated. So enough talk, let's just get started. We can head over to Linux VM. And as you can see, I've already put down IP addresses information onto our notebook. So then we can go ahead. Usually we can use, just I mentioned, I assume that you have already followed my channel. Usually the first step would be scanning open port numbers, right, by a map. But just I mentioned the first difficulty of this machine. One of port number is not always open. So we need to discover this hidden or this weird port number. So how to do? Of course, manually you can do the map scanning, for example, every 2 minutes or whatever. However, I'd like to use Python to automate this process. Okay, so now I've already opened up the PyCharm editor. You can use any editor what you wish. And I can set up the file like ports scanning. And the first module I'd like to import is socket. So this module, a socket module, can help us to make collection or everything about the networking to the target. And also, the module I'd like to import is threading, because we need to do full range port scan. Otherwise, if we do not use this multi-threading module or multi-processing module, similarly, this will take a bit long time to finish. So I'd like to import threading module, and also I'd like to import the queue. So the queue module can share variable between different threads. And another module I'd like to import is time. And the last module I'd like to import is sys. So if necessary, we can control the program, such as exiting the program. And in this video, I'd like to use class or object-oriented programming method to write. So the class, the name, the first character should be capitalized. So the port scanner, and the first method, as always, would be initialization or init method. Def means define the method. then this method belongs to the class port scanner. The class is some sort of container, and this container contains method attributes. Okay, so for now I just put a pass, and next I'd like to define is port connect. For now we just use keyword pass, and then we can port scan ports, scan, okay, pass, and next method would be the major method of this class. And the next we can if the program is being executed, and then the following block would be executed, the lim main, and then we can create instance for our class. So it would be p or any other name. So p run. We got the warning. We can comply with the P8P practice, the best practice for the Python. So we can define some attributes of our object. We can self host would be our target. Okay, and then self the queue, we can define the queue. So the queue will be the container, or will be the will be something to share data across different threads. So the queue. Okay, so that's it. So now we can print out something. Maybe we can print out so a port scanning started. Okay, and next we need to define the method of port connect. So we can first of all we can create instance for the socket class, socket IPv4 address family socket, and also we use the TCP sock stream, and we can set out the timeout, for example, like 1 second. Next, we can use the connect exception method. So if the collection is successful, and this method will return 0. Okay, so self host port. Of course, if we are very lucky, even we did this, we run the program, we can get that port number I mentioned at the very beginning. But if not, maybe we need to wait for a while to get or to discover that port number. Okay, it depends on when we run this program. And so if is to 0, and then we can put this number to the queue, the port number. So I think we do not need to do anything else. All right, so now we can do the full range port scan. So for port number in range from 0 to 65535, and then we can use threading, and we need to define the target method or the task, which kind of task should be done by this thread. So the self port connect, and also we need to pass the arguments of port number, port, and this would be tuple. Okay, even just in this tuple, only one element, and then we can start, and then also we can wait the main thread to finish. So when it's done, and we can while not self q empty. And then we can print out like print discover open ports as follows. And we can print out self q get. And we can, I want to put all port number into one line. So we can use the comma. And then we can print this line separator. Okay, so I think it's done. Now it's time to define the major method of this class. Why? I cannot remove. And then the main method while true. And then we can self ports scan. And then we can time sleep. For example, every 3 seconds. So one loop is over, and then after 3 seconds, we can start the second loop. You know, one loop is doing full range port scan. Okay, and now so I think that's all we need to decode. Okay, I need to make a double check. Okay, now we can pull up the terminal to run this program, Python port, and then we can press enter. And the port scanning started. If we're lucky, we can get that open port number the first time or the first loop. We need to see. Okay, we found we are not so lucky. You know, maybe we need to wait a while. So when I can find that port number, I will come back. See you there. Okay, let's continue. After a while, we found this port number. So now we can do the particular map scanning. So we can use sudo, and we can take the UU option. Sorry. The port number would be 21, 22, 80, 10,001, and IP address of the target. So now we can press enter. Of course, after another while, this port number will be closed again. So we need to do the, the scanning again. Since we just scan 4 port numbers, this will not take a long time. Okay, it's finished. And so now we can get more detailed information about each open port number. For example, like 21 which is running FTP service, and also the version information Pro FTPD 1.3.1, and also the second port number is 22, which is running SSH service, and also the version information. This version is very outdated, but I don't think we can find appropriate exploit for this version. And the next one is 80, which is running HTTP service, and also the version information Apache 2. Oh, even now this port number is closed. When we run the Python, this port number is open. So maybe we need to do another scanning again, but we can put it aside for a while. Let's continue our penetration. And first of all, we need to check whether this version is vulnerable or not. The utility I'd like to use is search exploit. And no result. It means that we do not have exploit for this version of Pro FTPD. And the next, it's time to emulate the web application both manually and automatically. Let's fire up the browser to do the manual emulation first. And we can put the IP address into the address bar of the browser. Press enter, and we got the page back. So if you have arrived here accidentally, please close this page now. Of course, I'm not going to do that. If you need to contact the development team, please send to this email. We can copy and we can put it down to our notebook. As usual, we need to check its source code, because sometimes source code can review or can leak something important. Yeah, it does. Here, there is one comment. Even this would be the credentials. We can copy and put over here. So maybe this credential possibly is used by FTP or by SSH or any other services. But before we try to use this credential, I'd like to complete our emulation with this web application. So let's pull up the terminal again. We can use the Q to retrieve the robots file of this site. Robots, not found. Next, we can use the Nicto to do the automatic emulation. Nicto can give us information about the application from different aspects, such as the banner, the request header, and even sometimes can give us the exploit if the web application is vulnerable. But nothing exciting so far. So next we can launch the GoBuster to do the directory emulation. And we can specify the URL of the target. And I'd like to auto-complete this command. So, yeah, we can use the W option to specify the word list. And almost immediately, GoBuster found the logs directory. We can copy or we can note down such information onto our notebook. And I do not want to wait it anymore because GoBuster cannot find anything else. So now, it's reasonable to make a deeper emulation with this discovered directory. So we can put the logs and press enter. But to be honest, GoBuster still cannot get anything. Okay, so I'd like to interrupt the GoBuster to save time of this video. So now we have already completed web application emulation. The only interesting and valuable information what we have already got is this information, or two or three maybe, the credentials and also the directory. So I think this directory must mean something for us, maybe we need to do something with the locks, for example, like lock poisoning, okay? But before we try that, we can try to use this credentials to SSH to the target. So how to do? We can use SSH logs, and we can put the IP address of the target and connect, and then we can get error. After all, this machine is a bit old, so and there will be some sort of compatibility issue. But don't worry, we can solve this issue very easy by put the option of this one. Oh, sorry, I think we need to remove this history data first. And connect again. And yes, and we can try to use this password to connect to. But it doesn't work. So next we can try to use this credential to FTP to the target, right? And we can, of course, we can use the same username and password. Username is logs. Yeah, logs. So the logs, it does work. So now we can list files and directories under the current directory. Yeah, there is one file, and the file name is backup log file. And so this from the timestamp, this is a very old file. So then we can try to get down this file to our Kali Linux. A bit laggy. Press enter. Also, we need to follow standard practice. We need to check whether we can change locations. For example, CD to home. No such a file or directory. So then we can exit from FTP session. And next we can get out the backup file. And it looks like this is, of course, for certain, this is the log file. And maybe this is not Apache 2 access log, because just now we have already used the browser to access the web application, but nothing has been logged into this file. So maybe, this file, of course, this is another difficulty of this machine. This log stores information of another port number. I mean the 10,001. So next we can try to connect to this port number by netcat. If we were lucky, we can connect successfully. If not, we need to make another Python program. Okay, press enter. As you can see, connection refused. We are not so lucky. So now we can open up the PyCharm again. Don't worry. We can we can call it like emirate, and we also need to use the socket. And this time we do not need to use the multi-threading or multi-processing module. And also we can import a time, import C module, and how to do. So we can while true the socket, we can create instance for socket class, socket, and the socket. IP4 address family and the socket. We also use TCP as transmission protocol, and also we can set the timeout to 1 second, and the result connection, and the target is this one, and port number. Okay, and then we can check if it's 0, which means that we can print out connected successfully, and then we can exit or we can break. Okay, else we just print. So we can print some message like try to connect but failed. Okay, tried to connect but failed, and then we can, and also we can close. Maybe I think it's not bad coding. We can close whatever, we can close the socket, and between each try we can put the delay sleep like 1 second. Okay, so I think that's all I have to code. So the while true, create instance for the socket, and then set a timeout for this socket, or just wait 1 second if the collection is not successful, and print out the result. 0 means successful. So that's all. We can run Python, press enter. So try it. Maybe we need to wait for a while until we can find this port number, and this port number becomes open again. Okay. All right. As you can see over here, after a while, the connected successfully. Now we can connect to the target on this port number. Oh, connection refused. Oh, a bit weird. So I think this should be done very quickly. Sorry about this. We need to run this program again. As you can see, after a while, we connected to the target successfully on this port number. Of course, because the target will be disconnected almost immediately, so we cannot manually, after we discover or after we successfully connect to the target, and then by Python, and then we manually connect to the target, this would be the target would be disconnected again. So I modified this code, this Python code. When the collection is successful, and then I can send the payload, and this payload is one-liner of PHP web shell. Okay, so now I think we have already sent this payload to the log file, and now we can access this log file to run or execute the command. Okay, so we can put IP address of the target and the logs and backup, and we can run command like ID. As you can see, now the command can be executed as we expected. So what are we going to do next? We need to do, what we need is to get initial foothold on the target. So how to do? We can set up the listener on the kernel Linux to wait for collection from the target. Next, we can check whether netcat is available on the target. Yeah, it is available. So next, we can run netcat with option of E, or execute the bash command followed by the IP address of kernel Linux and port number. Press enter. It seems it's working perfect. And as you can see, we have already got a collection from the target, and we can spawn a beta shell by Python. Python 2 is there. Import pdy spawn. Okay, so now we need to do local enumeration to elevate privilege. We can go to the home. Oh, the 3 users FTP, but the FTP we cannot find anything. Let's go to, maybe I can define the term variable, so then we can clear screen when necessary to get bigger space on the screen. Okay, color. Okay, clear. And we can go inside HB EO SSH directory, permission denied. Green. Nothing here. So next, maybe we can upload the NinPeer shell script to do the automatic enumeration. And we can navigate to temp directory where the uploaded file should be. And now I've already got this script ready, NinPeer shell script. So next we can set up the web server to upload this file to the target. And we can use wget NinPeers. And then we can make it executable. And then we can run it to see whether we can find some sort of vectors which allow us to elevate privilege. Protections. Very old kernel, but I'm not going to take kernel level exploit to elevate privilege in this video. And the processes information. Sometimes we need to utilize PSPY utility to find some other processes which belong to other users, like super user. And cron job information, active ports, so the username, all users, cron job, oh, even we can get the private key and we can copy and copy. And I think this private key, if you scroll down, you can see this private key would be used by this user. Okay, so now we can open up a new tab. We can create the private key locally. And we can save. we need to change the mode of this private key, and the username would be this one. We can copy. And of course, besides the private key, we also need to put other two options. Otherwise, the collection would be failed. It does work. So now we can check sudo to see whether the current user can run sudo. Yeah, it can. So now we can utilize the cat to elevate privilege without password of root user. And the next, of course, we can use this one to retrieve some privileged file like a shadow file. But in this video, I'd like to take another way. We can, the cat also can allow us to write information, right? So how to do? We can write the user information. We can get out the password file, and we can copy the first line. For example, we can create a new user, and the username would be like a JSON. And then we need to put our password into this line, and we can use the utility. We can use OpenSSL. And maybe I can auto-complete this command because I've already run this command many times. Okay, and then we can copy. This specifies the type of hash. We can copy, and we can put over here, and then we can copy this line. We can copy, and what here? We can use the sudo what user bin cat, and we can write to password file, and we can paste in here, and we can exit by pressing keys Control and C. If you get out the password, password file, this line has been appended this line has been appended to this file. So then we can use our user to JSON, and this JSON user or new created user has root privilege. Okay, and we can navigate to root directory. But I don't think we need to grab the flag here. So that's all I'd like to do in this video. See you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day, please.